Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Shri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam. Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram. Om Shruti Smriti Puranana Malayam Karunalayam. Namami Bhagavat-pada Shankaram Loka Shankaram. Hare Om. The very first topic for our discussion is JIVA. We'll begin with a very, very simple definition, and slowly you will find out the thought that is expounded in Advaita-vedānta about this jīva. As you know, there are many schools of thought, and they all speak about this jīva, so jagat, Īśvara, everything, all topics. So the concepts keep on varying. But we are not going to do any comparative study here, because our conference is focused on Advaita-vedānta. The very simple definition of jiva is jivati, iti jivaha. The one who lives. A living being is called jiva. Now, anything that is living, then it will come in the definition of jiva, including plants and trees also, because they also live. Of course, all little creatures, like ant and even mosquitoes, they also are jiva only. Then come to the birds, animals, that also is jiva srishti. And we come to human beings. We are also jivas here sitting. From the Vedas, we come to know there are different worlds. There are Naga, Gandharva, Yaksha, Kinnaras, and there are so many. They are also jivas, what you call the devatas. All are jivas. So that's number one. But now when we find there are various jivas, human beings are also here jivas, then what is the speciality? So what we find here, when we think of the plant, animals, and human beings as jiva are a very distinct feature. And that distinct feature is, number one is self-awareness. Second thing is this freedom of choice. And we can bring a change in ourselves consciously, intelligently, buddhi-purvak. Otherwise, if you look at the whole world, it is constantly changing. Whether you like or you don't like, everything is changing. Just to change, you don't have to do anything. Just be there, changes will take place. But deliberate and consciously, intelligently to change is very special feature of a human life. And the very expression of life is activity. That also is going on continuously everywhere. But in human being, what you find, since there is this choice, we have got a sense of doership and enjoyership. So the next lakshana of a jiva is, where there is a sense of doership behind the karma, and also there is intention, a desire for experiencing, enjoying the result of that, then the jiva bhava is there of doership, enjoyership. And since this kartrutva, bhoktrutva bhava is there, karta, bhokta bhava, that's called jiva. Therefore, what happens is, we are also bound by various injunctions of moral, ethical values, and what we call do's and don'ts. They become applicable to us. That's why the animal kingdoms, they have got a name, they are called vimuktaha. They are liberated. So he said, that's very wonderful. We as human beings, we are all the time struggling to get liberation. The best thing is to become an animal. Vimukta. Vimukta liberated from what? From this hold of injunctions of do's and don'ts. Because they cannot be otherwise. Those wild animals of tiger, lion, you can't tell them ahimsa paramo dharma. There is no such thing, because their life depends only on that hunting. And so it is not considered wrong or bad or anything like that. So they are free from these kind of things. What I call the idea of dharma, adharma. What's called the right, wrong, all those things. But now, we are also living, we have got a choice, and then we have got this sense of doership and enjoyership. So this is called kartrutva, bhoktrutva bhava. So wherever there is kartrutva, bhoktrutva bhava, then that jiva's position changes. Even little babies are also free from all those ideas of right, wrong. But the moment the jiva, they develop I, my, jiva bhava has come there now, consciously. And constantly now, modern generation, all the jivas, where is my iPhone? So my I is there immediately. All right. Why did you touch my, even a toy? It begins now, the jiva bhava. So who is a jiva? Who has got the self-awareness, the freedom to change, they have got doership, enjoyership, and when the sense of that possessiveness, all that comes, then the jiva bhava is becoming more and more solid now. Jivatva, karta bhokta bhava, that is there. Then what happens next? This jiva wants to live and want to live happily. So whatever is the idea of happiness that is there, the jiva goes on pursuing that. We were living in our Sandipani ashram, an American person was there, and there was a rule that anybody who wants to go to the Bombay city, Mumbai city, they had to get the permission from the manager. So there was a small slip of paper, you have to write. That man did not like this idea in the beginning that he has to take permission to just to go and all that. But then anyway, there was a column, what is the purpose of going to the city? And he was very honest. He said, in pursuit of sense objects. In pursuit of sense object, I am going to Mumbai city. Because wherever we feel that there is happiness, there only will go. Generally we say karta and bhokta, the doer and the enjoyer. But actually enjoyership is first. Because we want to enjoy, we want to experience something, therefore only we do. So actually, the doership comes because we want to enjoy something. So we don't want to enjoy then, do nothing. Anyway, generally we say karta bhokta. That's all right, whichever you say first and all that. So then, a jiva who has got the sense of doership, enjoyership, and also want to live and live happily, remember. These two things are very important. Because sometimes you see that some person committing suicide. Then you say, the person wants to live, why he has committed suicide? The problem was, there was sorrow. And he just didn't know how to overcome that sorrow or pain or the problem, how to face that. And but want to live happily. So even that act of suicide is also meant for happiness only. Because they are miserable life. I just don't want to live here anymore. That's why the jiva's tendency is always to live and live happily. So then, next thing that happens is, as Swami Tejomayananda says, कि कुर्वते कर्म भोगाय, and karma kartum cha bhunjate. Now who is this jiva now? Now the jiva is one who performs karma. Kurvate karma. Why? Bhogaya. To experience its result. And actually whenever we say enjoy the result, we don't mean material thing. See, suppose a person is working for acquiring money. Money is not the result actually. The result is that when I have money, a lot of wealth, I will be happy. So the enjoyment is of happiness only. So, bhogaya. Then what happens? Does it end there? Simplistically we think, I do this, I will get the result, I will enjoy that, I will be happy, and full stop. It's a period. What period? Another desire already has risen. Or desire for same pleasure has risen again. So therefore, karma kartum cha bhunjate. Then again, to enjoy that, he does again. So here is a jiva. What happens? Performing karmas to enjoy the result. Enjoying the result again to do the karma. And this is what Vidyaranya says. Nadyam kita ivavartat avartantramashute. Like an insect fallen in a river, and there's a whirlpool, and somehow he comes out of that, another whirlpool waiting there, it goes into that. The jivas also, if they get caught up in this vicious circle of action and enjoyment, and it doesn't just end at all. And this circle becomes bigger and bigger. Because earlier we want only little, as little children we want little things, and then we are very happy with that. But as we grow, I don't know really what is the growth, but as we grow young and all desires, and we hope that in old age our desires will not remain there. But trishnaika tarunayate. But in old age, desires only become young, everything else become old. The whole body, all parts of the body starts creaking. And the part which does not creak, that means it is not functioning. But the desires are there. They don't go away. Now, the law is, every action must have a reaction, must have a result. So then, when these individual beings, when they perform the karmas, prompted by various kinds of desires and vasanas and all that, the point is, all those karmas must produce result. And the doer and the experiencer of that result must be one and the same. Otherwise, it will be injustice only. Action is done by one, the result is going to someone else. They say that will not be correct. So action must produce result, and that result must go to that doer only. Now you see, how many kinds of actions are performed? You cannot keep a count also. And all those actions must produce result, and we know that all actions cannot produce result at the one and the same time, and also the results cannot be the same. Action is different, result also will be different, naturally. So countless actions produce countless results. The nature of results will be different, and many and varied. Like when you sow these different seeds from flower or fruits or crops, grains, and like a mango tree and all that, you may sow all of them at the same time, but they will not germinate at one and same time. What comes out will be different at different times, periods of time. So then, now very peculiar situation. The doer and the enjoyer of the result must be one and the same. And the countless actions, they must produce countless results. They cannot be produced at one and the same time. So what happens? They become stored. Now, very interesting point is, these results that come out cannot be enjoyed in the one and the same body and in one and the same world also. To experience that result, a specific world is required and also the equipment required. Then only it is possible. And you don't have to go too far or all that. Now here we are here now in our Chinmaya Vibhuti ashram. When you have to eat, the experience of eating, now where do you go? There is another world there. That's called Annashri. Now with the lecture session, Sudharma. Correct? Now whether you go in your own house, this is kitchen, dining, this is sitting room, this is bedroom, because our experiences are different. So you go to different rooms also. In an ashram like this, or in a city also. Isn't it? So because different worlds are there. So the result will have to be experienced in different worlds. Now you want to have the experience of air travel. So the space, empty space has to be there. And you also must have at least a glider to experience that. And the sea, sailing in the sea, you may be having a Mercedes and BMW and all those cars, but they have no use there. Only have to at least see a boat only or a ship. But on the road, you can travel by a bus, car, train, because different vehicles are required. This point must be understood very well. Then only the jiva's idea, the whole thing will become clearer and clearer. So now, countless jivas are there. Even if you take the example of one jiva, his actions are countless, results are many and different. They cannot be experienced at one and same time in one and same body. And that's why we say there are so many different worlds are there. Bhurva, Swaha, Mahajana, Tapa, Satyam, Atal, Vital, Sutal, Talatal, Rasatal, Mahital, Patalam, all the worlds. And the 14 worlds make one cosmos. Like that there are countless cosmoses. Now, this jiva, as to experience the result, we don't know what kind of result, in which world he will have to go, and therefore the jiva's next definition is ihaloka paraloka gami. So what we started, jivati iti jivaha. The one who lives is called a jiva. But then what's called the one who has karta bhokta bhava is a jiva. The one who has got the sense of doership and enjoyership. Then next what comes, when you do the karmas to enjoy the results, again to do the karma, we get caught up there now. And now because of so many karmas, the results will be many. To enjoy that, so many different worlds are there. And now this jiva has to go, ihaloka paraloka gami, the traveler. From this world to that world to that world, the jiva goes on and on and on. And cannot have the same body also, remember. Cannot have the same body. So how many different bodies also you have to have? As I told you, to air travel, you have to have the airplane, and the sea travel to have a ship, and then the road. Now all the different, so that's why it's called vanaspati sharir. Tree's body, bird's body, creature's body, human body. All these bodies are really speaking only equipment. The body itself cannot be jiva there naturally. Because iha loka parloka gami jiva, this body doesn't go. That's why it is so that school of thought where they say only physical body is a jiva. That's all. Their simplistic thinking that physical body, but that is jiva. And therefore, when the body dies, the jiva dies, finished. And therefore, there is no going here, there, and all that, if you close your eyes, that does not mean the world disappears or the laws are suspended or anything. You go on saying, I don't believe in this, I don't believe it. You may not believe. I don't accept this. You don't accept. One man was fighting with the other person, argument. And he said, a cow has got 6 legs. 6 legs. That man said, what are you talking? It is pratyaksha pramana, there's only 4 legs and then you are 10. No, 6 legs. Now let us go to a judge, to find out who is the correct and all that. He said, no use of going there. Why? Because I am not going to accept whatever they say. Is this called argument and all that? Even if this person says the cow has got 4, let him say. So if someone says, I am not going to believe you, I am not going to accept, then that's no more argument also then. But if you logically think, then you find it has to be. And that's why now we come to more subtle point as to who is this jiva, the performer of the karma. Because as we think logically, that we come to know that the jiva will become doer, has to become enjoyer. A doer and enjoyer have to be one and the same. Where are you going to enjoy all these results? And then who is going to enjoy? If it is jiva, but who is this jiva then? Can we say only physical body? Physical body alone cannot be a jiva. Just think that even if you build a house, only just 4 walls are there, roof and do you call it a house? It's only called a shell. But then you have to well furnish it. When it becomes well furnished, and then only you can have a house entering ceremony. They call house warming ceremony or griha pravesha. And then you are opening an office. No equipment are there, only room is there. What office? This physical body is only a structure, that's all right. But is the physical body alone doer? Does the physical body go from one world to another world? We know. Therefore, who is the doer? So a jiva who has got this sense of doership, enjoyership, and also therefore a sense of individuality. Who is a jiva? The one who has got a sense of individuality, who has got the sense of doership and enjoyership, and wants to live happily here. All these are the concepts of that jiva. They are not only concepts, you can see them practically. How does the sense of individuality arise? This sense of individuality arises only from our identification with one thing or the other. Now we say we are human beings because we are identified with this body. Somebody said, I am a man, I am a woman, again the body identification. Without identification, sense of individuality also will not arise. Now, in order to become a doer, how many things are required? To become a doer of any action, I need a physical body. Yes. And it must be a living body. Pranas must be there. Breath, life breath has to be there. Pranas also required. Sense organs are required. Right? Because I see, hear, taste, smell, touch and all that. These are the sense organs. But then I need organs of action. And different sense organs only perceive particular only object. Something has to be there to coordinating factor, and that is called a mind. And someone has to take a decision, and then must have sense of doership. That's called intellect. I'm not going too much of at least so many factors. The body, the pranas, the sense organs, organs of action, and mind intellect. And not only the physical body, I must have identification with this physical body that this is me. Now there are so many bodies are there. Luckily, I am not having identification with all of them. Oh, and every individual has identified only with his or her body. Thank God. Otherwise, my sorrow will come to you. Problem will be there. So individuality is there. Identify with certain equipment. So who is the jiva now? Not only physical body, but you say the body, the prana, the senses, the organ of action, the mind, intellect, all these put together. But if consciousness, sentience is not functioning or expressing, then again all this is inert only. So therefore, the definition of jiva is given very beautifully in Drigdrishya Vivek. Who is the jiva? Sakshina purato bhanam lingam dehena sanyutam chitichaya samaveshat jivasyat vyavaharikaha. This vyavaharika jiva, this empirical jiva, the doer and the enjoyer having a sense of individuality. Who is the jiva? First is we have to say in the algebraic fashion only plus. The plus is very peculiar. There has to be Sakshi Chaitanya, pure consciousness. And that consciousness expressing in the Linga Sharira, subtle body. That subtle body will call now only mind and intellect, let us say. So pure consciousness manifested in the subtle body. And that subtle body is identified with the gross physical body. Then only a complete vyavaharik jiva, the empirical jiva is there. You see, to have the sense of individuality and sense of doership, all these factors have to be there. Consciousness plus subtle body plus reflection of consciousness in the subtle body plus the physical body, then this is called you and me. Vyavaharika jivaha. So if somebody asks you, who are you? Sakshi plus subtle body with reflection of consciousness plus gross body. That is me. Now this me has got all other special qualifications and then whatever that you want to say. Is a man or woman or this, tall, short, black, white, yellow, very intelligent, illiterate or whatever that you want to say. So many questions. This becomes a vyavaharika jivaha. Vyavaharika jiva means empirical jiva. Okay. Now, as we saw, that this jiva, since has got sense of individuality, naturally there will be sense of finitude and limitation. However powerful the jiva becomes, still he will feel I am limited. The sense of finitude also will be there. I am limited. I want to break all shackles and all that. When you find the children disobeying or the youth also, revolting, what is that? They are revolting against this finitude only. Revolting against all limitations and all these things which are put on them and all that. I want to become free. But we don't know how to become free. We create more and more bondage only. Kurvate karma bhogaya karma kartum cha bhunjate. And so now, who is the jiva? Completely bound. And where is he bound? The whole world is so free, but we have created our own web. As Shankaracharya Bhagavan says, our condition is like a silkworm. the silkworm creating, all the cocoon from its own thread and gets caught up there only. So nobody has bound us. We only created bondage efficiently. No one else is required. Other person's help is not needed. We are so good at creating that. We are bound. Bound in what? Since we limit ourselves to our physical body, naturally we are bound by our power of action. We are identified with our this mind, so again limited by our own knowledge, power of will, wish, desire, it is very limited. Bound by, limited by that. That's why Jiva is called Alpadnya, Alpashaktiman, because identified only with this individuality, individual body, mind, so very, very limited. His power of will is very limited. Power of knowledge is limited. Power of action also limited. This is called Jiva now. Bound. In Tulsi Ramayana, there is one episode where Lakshmanji asks some questions to Bhagavan Rama. And one question is, what is different between Jiva and Īśvara? My topic is not of Īśvara anyway, only about Jiva. So there it is written, Maya isan aap kahu jaan kahi so jeev. Who is the Jiva? You ask the Jiva, do you know what is Īśvara? No. And sometimes he will have the audacity to say it doesn't exist also. One thing about Jiva and Īśvara, and one very interesting good thing is, at least Jiva doesn't doubt his own existence. he may doubt existence of God, existence of what you call this heaven and hell and all different worlds and this and that. He may go on doubting. But whether you exist or not, at least there is no doubt about that. But does not know what Maya is, what Isha is. Even our own true nature also is not known to us. The Jiva, very, very limited in every sense of the term, and still feel that I am very great and all that. Another arrogance is there. So now, our next question is, now the Jiva Bhava, and then we are fallen in this. What is that? Our Jivatva now, Sakshi plus Linga Sharir, subtle body in which there is a reflection of consciousness, and that subtle body is identified with the gross body. Now what is called the Ihaloka Parloka Gami, going here? So when this subtle body, actually that is the Jiva. The subtle body accompanied with the reflection of consciousness, that Jiva, when leaves a given physical body, then that is the death of that physical body, not of Jiva. That Jiva only goes to experience his results of karma according to the law of nature, law of God, Creator, and then takes up the body and goes to different worlds. That Jiva goes. So please understand, the body itself is not the doer and all that. A Jiva enters this body. Understand? When we say birth, see, remember, the parents, the mother, father, they are only providing material for the physical body of that Jiva. They don't produce the Jiva. I remember one great Mahatma, a couple went to him with their daughter. She was expecting, she was pregnant. They say, Maharaj, you please bless her. I say, yes, yes, she will be blessed with a son. I say, very olden time, not this sonography, this, that, and all that. So they asked him, how do you know that she will be blessed with a son, male boy? He smiled and he said, that is very easy to say. I know which jīva is coming in that body. He knows even the jīva. Can you believe that? Body itself is not a jīva. When the parents, they only give the material for this physical body, for jīva to occupy it. It's a very complicated thing. And one way it is very simple, easy also. That jīva is the one who goes from one body to another body, from this world to that world, and experiences results. But remember, even if he goes to heaven, Devata Sharir, but that also is limited only. And if the Jiva goes to hell, there is another body he gets. That's called Yatana Sharir. A body meant for going through torture. Like here also, when the people have third degree punishment and they go to jail, so many shackles, they can't move, this, that. Yatna Sharir it is. Huh? Anyway, I don't want to frighten you early in the morning and all that. If you want to get frightened, read Garuda Purana also. But the Jiva goes from this body to body, world to world. But even if you go to different worlds, still that finitude doesn't end. Now the question is how to come out of this bondage. Now the Jiva has to come out of this bondage. How? See, it is a very big topic, huh? I am giving all main points, bullet points. And then, you have to think more and more. And actually, next topics will be there and all other speakers also will throw light on that. But now the question is, I am bound. Okay. How I got bound? Oh, already you saw that. How to come out of it? How to come out? That itself is another very, very big journey. But the principle is this. The Jiva should start thinking. Avichara kruto bandhaha vicharena nivartate. This our bondage is created because lack of right thinking. And so therefore, the liberation is possible with right thinking. And how to begin that? Just think, I have got identification with my one physical body. And therefore the sense of individuality, limitation, finitude has come. Right. But from where this one physical body has come? If there is no totality of the space, air, fire, water, earth, the total cosmos, can the one individual body come out? Huh? No. So this body is coming from the total 5 elements. This what I call my mind. Actually, this mind also exists in the total mind only. In short, the Jiva must understand, I am an individual, yes, but I am part of the total. I cannot exist without this totality. And that's why Bhagavan says in the Gita, Mamai Vamsho Jiva Loke Jīva bhuta sanatanaha. Bhagavan says the Jiva is only my amsha, my part. The Paramatma functioning through the totality is called Īśvara, and the Jiva the part of it. So even though I am part, but I am part of the whole. And therefore, I look at myself as a part, I am very, very individual and all that, limited. But the moment I see my relation with the totality, then I am not limited. See, this thumb also, look only individually how much power it has. But when it is connected with the whole body, then see the power. So now, one way of coming out of bondage is, the Jiva must realize, what must realize? I am the part of that Lord. And what is the nature of that Lord? Naturally, that Lord who is manifesting totality does not have any particular likes and dislikes. So the Jiva must begin his journey towards liberation by performing karmas without personal likes and dislikes. Just like God. God does not have personal likes and dislikes. Without likes and dislikes. And since I am the part of that Lord, so I dedicate all my actions to that Paramatma. Begin from there. Now, if a Jiva starts doing that, what will happen, do you know? His individual, personal likes and dislikes will start getting dissolved and melted. And then what Vedanta says, oh Jiva, you start inquiring now. Who are you? From where you have come? So that Jiva starts inquiring. But in our Shastras, very beautiful things are also said. And do you know what? I gave the example of that insect caught up in the whirlpool. There it is said some compassionate, saintly person comes there and sees the struggle of that insect and he lifts him from there. And brings. And does not leave him on hot sand, but under a shady tree. That insect may not realize also that how compassionate. Here it is said, the Jiva has to come out of his bondage by of his own some punya karmas, and a compassionate guru also comes there. He says, come on, tishtata, jagrata, arise, awake, what are you sleeping? Get up. And so guiding that Jiva to perform dedicated karmas, a purity of mind, and then you start inquiring. Then I inquire, what is that? Sakshi Chaitanya, reflected in subtle body and identified with the gross body, then that is called Vyavharika Jiva. So now, that means there are two aspects. One is my empirical aspect and my absolute one. So my physical body will come and go. The subtle body also is a matter, that also is matter of time only. That also has to go. And if subtle body go, the reflection also will go naturally. So only what remains is Sakshi Chaitanya. And that Sakshi Chaitanya is my Swarupa. So when the Jiva inquires into the nature of his true self, then he finds the body, physical body, the subtle body, the reflection, they all disappear. The only Sakshi alone remains there. And that is my paramarthik swarup, my absolute identity actually. What Bhagavan Shankaracharya writes, Chidananda Rupaha Shivoham Shivoham. So first he says Jivoham, Jivoham, Jivoham. Then he says, what? Jiva, 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 Jiva. Shivoham, Shivoham. Then the Jiva is liberated from all bondages. And on inquiry, you learn many things. And what many things you learn? Whom you call as the Jiva, Paramatma only is appearing in this form. Anena jivena atmana anupravishya nama rupe vyakarvani. Created as a Paramatma only appearing as Jiva. And then these all ignorance, wrong notions, identification, individuality, all dropped aside. What you discover? Oh, Shivoham, Shivoham, Shivoham. Then you realize, Mamatma Sarvabhutatma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So we bow down to cite that Guru who reveals this nature to me. So now what we have found out? How we started? Jivati iti jivaha. The living being is jiva. Then you say kartutva bhoktrutva abhimani is a jiva. This kartutva bhoktrutva abhimani only becomes ihaloka parloka gami jivaha. And what is his status is sakshi plus all this and becomes a vyavaharik empirical jiva. Now he is bound by his own karma phala bhoga and all that is bound now. And therefore traveling here, there and all that. Now, how will he get liberation? So first stage is the jiva must understand I am the part of the total. So therefore I remain dedicated to that Paramatma Īśvara. Then the mind is purified. Then do the Atma Vichar. And Atma Vichar when you do, what I am not, all these conditionings, they are the matter of just time and they are matter only. They will end. Proper inquiry. And then realize what your true identity. So the jiva has got two identities. One is called empirical identity now, and the other is the absolute one. And when he realizes the absolute is liberated. And that's why the Upanishad says, Iha ched avedit atha satyamasti. Na ched iha avedit mahati vinashti. If while living in this world, in this body, if you realize this truth, all is well with you. Otherwise, all is in the well. So therefore, don't see that. Tulsidas writes very beautifully, Ya charita jagavahi haripada pavahi tena parahi bhavakupa. Those who seek the glories of the Lord, then they don't fall in the well of this samsara. Otherwise, this avidya maya will put in the javasa jiva para bhavakupa. Otherwise, under the influence of avidya, we will fall in the deeper and deeper well only of samsara. But jiva's lot is really not this samsara. Jiva is Brahma Swarupa and must realize that. And sooner we realize, the better it is. What is the use of suffering, and in the end I have to come to know that. We find here in this world also, when some people listen to this Vedanta at a little advanced age, they say, why didn't I listen this earlier and all that? Better listen to it now quickly. And wow. I remember there was an American student also in our batch. He used to sing all the time only one line song. Quickly come, quickly go. Before going, make sure you are knowing. So before you go, you must make it sure that you know what your true self is. And then you are liberated. We all are liberated only then. So I invoke God's grace and Puja Gurudev's blessings on one and all to realize our own true self. Thank you. Hari Om.